All right, what's going on, everyone? So, if you weren't aware of it, there's an election going on. Oh, yes, today, November 4th, 2020. There's a presidential election still going on because they can't call it because of the chaos that is the 2020 general election. And it is a mess. And it's not looking good, but we'll talk about that. I really just want to get my thoughts out there, out here on the internet, and let people hear them, and see what other people think. Sometimes I just feel like I'm in an echo chamber with the streams and the content creators that I listen to, and I don't know. I just needed to talk a bit, needed to vent, needed to get it out there. So let's just dive into it. So I guess to start off, everyone knows the way the polls. The way they were projecting this election to go, and it was just completely wrong, just like 2016, if not worse in some situations. And I was concerned. 8 months ago, before the pandemic, absolute landslide by Donald Trump. No question about it. Not a doubt in my mind. And I'm not even going to get into the specifics, but absolute landslide. It took a pandemic and setting up a bunch of sketchy ass protocols in the general election and how we vote and how we count those votes in order for Trump, I won't say lose just yet, but potentially lose. Just think of the difference in this election. Had we not had a pandemic, all this mail-in voting, and just the lack of being able to count ballots accurately, the lack of counting, the loss of the ability to count on your fingers in so many of these states. And, like I said, 8 months ago, landslide, Donald Trump, boom, pandemic. Out of nowhere. Someone got a little sick from eating some bat soup is what they say. I don't know. But we get a pandemic, everything's looking bad. I don't think Trump handled it that poorly. I don't really have a huge gripe on him, but I'm not going to get into the specifics on that right now. But the media, at the very least, played it off, and social media played it off. It's all Trump's fault. A lot of negative attention on Trump. Definitely hurt his numbers. And for a while there, I was just writing him off. There's no way. There's no way Trump can win. It's over. They're going to push Biden through. He's just another standard run-of-the-mill piece of garbage out of Washington. But then I started noticing a month and a half, 2 months ago. I started noticing the crowds at the Trump rallies and just the general energy around him as a candidate. I started looking around me where I live. Usually, I'm not seeing Trump signs around here, but you don't see a whole lot of those anyways. But I'm not seeing a whole lot of Biden support either. I'm pretty sure I saw more Bernie signs in a primary than Biden-Harris in the general. Hell, I would even say I see more Black Lives Matter signs than I see Biden signs. So I sat back and I thought about it. And then I started paying attention. And then I started thinking about 2016 because I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I kind of predicted 2016 a little bit. I called Trump winning that, firmly called him winning that with, my friends and the people around me, my family. As far as, I want to say 7 or 8 months out. And that I was solid, or I was committed to that position when I started paying attention to the energy and the positivity around Trump and his campaign and around his supporters. And I'm seeing it again. Or I guess I did see it again. It's nothing but love of country, high energy, high attendance, people going out of their way to show their support. And you just didn't see it on the other side. You just didn't see it. In 2016, the real clicker for me was, I want to say it was Tallahassee, or it might have been Jacksonville, Florida. I want to say it's Tallahassee. Hillary stopped by, I believe it was part of her Beyonce tour, and she had herself a decent crowd. But then less than a week later, Trump flies in, and his crowd is more than 2 times the size. And he didn't have to bring in a big pop star. Those are the cues that helped me feel confident in the idea Trump was going to win in 2016, and I had it again this time. But that's just not the way it's kind of looking right now. So, kind of steering away from that, let's actually talk about the election. And on the video, I will pull up images, so you all can kind of follow along. But let's start with the 2016 map and look at the big states that Trump won. Obviously, Florida was a little sketchy in 2016, but he's held that pretty solid along with Ohio. But I think the real wake-ups were Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Right? I wasn't thinking he was going to get all those states. I thought it would be probably closer this time than last. But this is the map of my prediction. Okay? Where it looks like I'm wrong now. Arizona and Michigan. I really thought those would go red. Honestly, Arizona was a little silly. That was me just getting a little carried away. But I really, really imagined Michigan going red. Pennsylvania is confident about. At the time of this, actually, Pennsylvania's still in the air. So is North Carolina, Georgia, technically Michigan. So is Arizona and Nevada. But I was pretty confident Pennsylvania would go red. That Trump would claim it one more time. But it's honestly not looking like that might even happen at this point. There's still a pretty good chance that he could get it, but the way it's breaking out now, and I'll pull that up here as well. The way it's breaking out now, he might not even get it. Because at the time of this, he's ahead by roughly 300,000. But that's only 86 reporting, and I'm getting this all off the Associated Press. This is literally if you just type in election results onto Google, right? They pull up the AP. So he's winning about 300,000, okay? 86 reporting. But a lot of people are talking, and I don't know how accurate this is. I'm getting this from sources all over the place. I'm reading a couple websites for articles. I'm hopping back and forth between a couple streams and checking some of the social media and Reddit and all that, etc. But a lot of people are saying, excuse me, a lot of people are saying that there's most of the ballots that they haven't counted yet are coming from the big cities like Philly. So he could still potentially lose this. They won't call North Carolina. They won't call Georgia. I think at this point we should be able to call those. Maybe I'm wrong because look what happened. What happened last night with Michigan and Wyoming? Or not Wyoming, excuse me, Michigan and Wisconsin. I stayed up, admittedly, way too late, listening, trying to figure out what's going on. When I went to sleep, they both had massive, massive leads. I want to say Michigan was up by like 8%. Wisconsin, 6%. I wake up this morning for work. Wisconsin's gone. Mind blowing. I'm just getting my coffee together because I was a quick look on my phone, get my coffee together, get my computer because I'm still quarantine working. Okay. I get down on my couch, get the laptop out. I'm checking emails, all that. And I was, we'll flip over and see what's going on. Boom. Michigan's gone. What just happened? And then we start seeing all these reports of all these votes that came in early morning, whatever you want to call it. 4 a.m. I think was the Wisconsin one. I'll throw it on the screen. And we can clarify that there. And then I believe it was like closer to 9 for the Michigan one. Massive amounts of Biden votes. Just pop right in there. Nothing for Trump. Nothing for Joe Jorgensen or whatever her name is. No one cares about the libertarians this time. Well, apparently some people did. They voted, but I digress. And that changed everything. Where I'm sitting right now, Trump's only hope is that on, I believe, November 5th, which is tomorrow, Nevada is supposed to come out with more information. And I don't think they're going to post anything else today, from what I'm understanding. His only hope is he takes Nevada. He flips it, because right now the Dems are ahead by, I believe, just under, about 8,000. 8,000. And he holds on to Pennsylvania, which is not guaranteed. And that they finally give him Georgia, North Carolina, and Arkansas. The only other chance, the only other road to victory he has, which I don't find likely, is the recount that they're going to try in Wisconsin. And there's investigations of voter fraud in Michigan. The Michigan voter fraud, I'm not convinced that it didn't happen. I think personally it probably did to some extent. We're seeing all these people walk into a polling center that's supposedly closed for the evening so people can go to sleep and take a little nappy nap because, God forbid, we count votes throughout the night. People walking in unchecked with massive bags of stuff. Massive bags of stuff. We got someone saying that they were only supposed to have, we're predicting like 19,000 more ballots coming in that were the mail-ins. And that's it. And then, boom! Like 130,000 come in, all Biden. Get out of here. But with all that being said, he needs that or he needs to flip Arizona, which is unlikely, but there's a slim chance. A lot of people are going to tell you that there's still a chance. Gut feeling, doubt it. There is a chance. Don't get your hopes up. Most likely, it's not going to happen, and it sucks. It sucks a lot. I wasn't even the biggest Trump guy in the beginning. But you best believe I wanted him to win this election. And when I look and I see the rallies and the energy and the people and the patriots, they wanted him to. I guess where I'll leave it at for now is, I guess gun sales are going to go up because people are going to be worried about that. People are going to be worried about their jobs. People are going to be worried about another lockdown. There's a lot of uncertainties, but retrospect, you might not see a whole lot of change for now. But maybe the Republicans will actually hold their ground because we might keep the Senate. But we'll just have to wait and see. Thanks for listening.